Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Dave Galuli. I'm the director of TVP Nonprofit, and it is indeed my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the ribbon cutting for our first-time homebuyer program here in the Lower Dyer. A year ago, on April 15th at 3:30 in the afternoon, many of you joined us as we stood on this same property, and the winds were blowing, and we had a group of people, and we broke ground on what we never envisioned would actually come true. And here we are almost a year later to the day. Taxes are due next week, and we got that plug in last year, too, to make sure you got to the post office. And we're about to cut a ribbon on the first of 10 homes that are ready for first-time home buyers. This is a special project that was put together with the city and TVP and our partnership through the Lower Dyer Collaborative with El Paso Affordable Housing. I want to thank several people before I turn it over to Representative Byrd. I'd like to thank Fred Dalbin, our architect, and Hugo Ordonez, our contractor. If you didn't know it, the short little white guy here is actually from the East Coast. And we do things differently on the East Coast. And I learned very quickly this is El Paso, and things don't always happen the way they do on the East Coast. But I can honestly say that in all the years of building housing and projects, it's truly been an educational experience, but also an honor to be able to work with two quality-minded people like Fred and Hugo. As you walk through these homes in a few minutes, many of the things that you're going to see, they were the inspiration for. If we came up with a change, it happened. We would talk about it very quickly as a team, and it would just happen. For example, the little blocks at the front of the trees. I was here, and the trash truck was going by. And on the East Coast, you have little pads that you put your trash can on. And if you're from the East Coast, you have a little pad, you put your trash can on, the happy little dumpster guy comes by, he empties your trash, and you carry it back to your backyard. Well, here, I said, what are we going to do? I mean, you can't put it on the street. Showed up 2 days later, and we have little trash pads. You know, it's those little things that they made sure happen. And so I would, again, like to give a special thanks to Fred and Hugo, as well as our TVP board of directors and staff, some of who are here, and all of our friends at the city who put up with me from permitting and streets and zoning and infill applications and neighborhood services. Thanks for being patient this past year. But our work is not done. We still have a lot more that we're going to be doing here in the Lower Dyer housing. And so, Pat, get your checkbooks ready. We need more money so we can build more housing. And I want to turn it over now to Representative Susie Byrd.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. I was actually invited because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm the best dancer on City Council. And so since there was music, they thought they would invite me. So anyways, I actually am the representative for this area, and I'm very proud to be the representative for this area. Many people, this is a very, very proud neighborhood. People went to Rusk Elementary, they went to Travis Elementary, they went on to Austin High School. There's a lot of pride in this neighborhood, and when we first started this project, really at the behest of our neighborhood leaders like Mr. Jorge Almada and Bonnie Gonzalez, what they were saying to us is, this is a great neighborhood, one that we really believe in a lot, but over time things have changed, and some of that pride has lost. We've lost some of that pride, and we want you to help us reinvigorate this neighborhood. It can't just be the neighborhood association. It just can't be the city. It's got to be nonprofits and people working together to make real change in this neighborhood. And so today, we are proud to be able to sort of unleash the beginnings of that. So much work has been happening for the last 2 or 3 years. Lots of civic kind of community building has been happening with TVP and Big Brothers, Big Sisters, with the community college. And another piece of that was we wanted people to have real good affordable housing options in the neighborhood. So if you wanted to buy a new home, you didn't have to drive out to the east side. You didn't have to leave the neighborhood that you loved. You could actually find something affordable in your neighborhood. And so that's what we're doing today, and I want to thank TVP so much and everybody that worked on this project, and most importantly, the neighborhood association that really helped spur this process, that was at the forefront of bringing attention to this neighborhood and saying, hey, the city needs to be engaged in a more thoughtful way in our neighborhood. So thank you very much.
A little over, I guess it was about 15 months ago, maybe 18 at the max, I have this tendency of stopping on the second floor of City Hall and the 8th floor of City Hall, and I sort of work my way up and down, and I stopped on the 8th floor, and I stopped to see our friends in housing, and I said, anything happening? And they said, Lower Dyer and housing, and I said, well, let's give it a swing. And through many, many meetings and hours of patience, Ms. Pat White and her wonderful team helped us put together the package that has created these homes. And I'd like to introduce Ms. Pat White, Director of Housing for the City of El Paso.
Thank you, Dave. Good afternoon, everyone. I think so much has already been said, but what I really wanted to express that this week is National Community Development Week, where we celebrate all the things that we do to assist the neighborhoods and to help develop our community. And there is no better way that I can think of than for us to be here today to celebrate the opening and the completion of these wonderful affordable units for first-time home buyers. As Dave was saying earlier, it was about a year ago that we came out and we actually did the groundbreaking. So there was nothing here but dirt and rocks and gravel and glass, and now we're back 1 year later to celebrate the completion of the construction of these beautiful units. So I want to thank Dave, TVP, the architect, and of course the contractor and everyone involved in the completion of such beautiful units. We enjoy working with TVP, and of course we're looking forward to a very long relationship with TVP. And we hope that you all will take a few minutes to come in and look at the units. You'll be amazed at how beautiful they've turned out. So thank you all very much for coming, and thank you very much to TVP and their staff.
And last but definitely not least, there is a process that our wonderful city uses when it comes to community development block grant money. They make us beg, and then they make us beg again, and then they make us make multiple presentations and beg. And then we change budgets and all those other fun things. And it's always fun taking city funds because you never know what you're going to encounter. And City Council has put together the Community Development Steering Committee. And we have with us today the chairperson of the Community Development Steering Committee, Ms. Billy Brown.
On behalf of the steering committee, I would like you all to know that Dave is one of the best beggars we have ever had to deal with. He just wouldn't go away, so we had to give him the money. On behalf of the steering committee, we are so excited to be here today and to be able to open these beautiful, beautiful homes. They are much more beautiful than we ever expected them to be, and we are so proud to have been a part of this, and we are so proud that the Community Development Department has been a part of this. Thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of the tour, and have a cookie and all of that good stuff.
Okay, we're now going to cut the ribbon, and so if we could have Mr. Jorge Almada, President of the Central Neighborhood Association, Representative Susie Bird, Mr. Dalbin, Ms. White, Pat, and Billy, if you'll please join us. Ugo, if you'll join us as well. Suzette Kenny, the Assistant Director for TVP, if you'll join us. Okay, now, we have to do this for the media, you know. We got to, y'all ready? Because we only get one chance at this. Okay, so we're going to cut the ribbon on the count of 3. 1, did anybody sharpen the city's big scissors? 2, 3. Thank you all very much. The first 3 sets of houses are open for you able to walk through. The architect and the contractors, everybody's here. There is some information and brochures. There's some water in the sinks, in bottles, and that in bottles. And there's also some cookies, and we just invite you to make yourself at home for a little while. We do ask that you help us keep in mind that these are energy efficient homes, that these are all those other happy things. We did a lot of green building concepts, and so help us keep the neighborhood clean. There are trash cans at each end. If you would be kind enough to throw your bottle away, we can try to get the city to take it and recycle it. Thank you again for everything, and thanks to our friends at the city.